Level 1, the snoozer. The alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and you turn it off in 4 seconds. You're 24. You meant to wake up early. You said it last night out loud, to nobody. Today's the day. You set the alarm with intention. You even put the phone across the room. Then at 6 a.m., you walk across the room, turn it off, and get back in bed. And the thing you feel isn't guilt, it's relief. That's the part that should scare you. You don't know it yet, but the relief is the trap. Guilt means part of you is still fighting. Relief means that part already lost. You wake up at 9:40. You scroll for 20 minutes before your feet touch the floor. You watch a video of a guy named Dylan. 6 a.m. workout, cold plunge, journaling. The caption says, discipline equals freedom. 400,000 followers. You double tap it. You feel motivated. You confuse the feeling of watching discipline with the act of having it. They are not the same thing. One is free, one costs everything. You tell yourself you'll start Monday. You've told yourself you'll start Monday for 11 Mondays. You make $0 today that you didn't already have. The number sits at $0. Level 2, the starter. You started. Monday came and you actually got up. You worked on the thing for 2 hours before your shift. A side project, a skill. Doesn't matter which. What matters is you did it tired. That's new. You do it again Tuesday. By Thursday it hurts. By Sunday you skip. You tell yourself one day off is recovery. It's not recovery. It's the old self testing whether the door is still open. It is. You learn the first ugly law. Motivation is what got you here. Motivation will not keep you here. Motivation showed up loud on Monday and was gone by Thursday, like a friend who only calls when it's fun. What's left after motivation leaves is just you and the chair and the thing you said you'd do. Most people meet that silence once and never come back. Your girlfriend notices you're up early. She asks what you're working on. You tell her. She smiles, says that's great, and you can tell she's heard you say great things before. Her support is real and slightly rationed. She's learned not to celebrate the start, only the finish. You haven't finished anything yet. You check Dylan's page. New post, same routine, different ice bath. You realize his content never changes. The actual work would change. The selling of the work just repeats. You make $40 from the thing this week. The number sits at $40.
Level 3, the grinder. 90 days in. The thing makes a little money now. Not much. Enough to prove it isn't fake. You work nights after the job, weekends instead of the lake, mornings you used to give to sleep. Your friends invite you out on a Saturday. You say you're busy. You are busy. You're sitting alone at a desk doing something boring for the 4th weekend in a row, and the boring is the whole point. Excitement was never going to build this. Repetition was. You discover the second law. The work doesn't get easier. You get harder. The same task that wrecked you in month 1 is routine in month 3, not because it shrank, because you grew around it. Nobody warns you that the growth feels like nothing while it's happening. It only shows up in the rear view. A friend asks how you stay so disciplined. You don't have an answer that sounds good. The truth is, you stopped negotiating with yourself in the morning. The negotiation was the leak. You closed it. That's all discipline is. Fewer arguments with yourself. You skip a wedding. You'll regret that one specifically. You tell yourself it was necessary. Half of you believes it. You see Dylan posted from that same wedding. He was there. He networked. He had a life that week. You had a desk. You don't know yet which of you is right. The number sits at $900. Level 4, the operator. The thing is real now. It pays more than a weekend hobby should. You quit nothing yet, but the math is starting to tilt. You wake at 5:30 without an alarm. Your body just does it. The relief from level 1 is gone, replaced by something quieter and more dangerous, identity. You're not someone who's trying to be disciplined anymore. You're someone who is, and the moment that becomes who you are instead of what you do, you stop being able to turn it off. You learn the third law, and it costs you. Work ethic is not a faucet, it's a temperature. You can't run hot for the project and cool for the people who love you. The same engine that builds the business also forgets the birthday, also answers the email at dinner, also stops being fully in the room. Your girlfriend, now fiance, says it on a Tuesday. Calm, no fight. You're here, but you're not here. You hear it. You also open your laptop 20 minutes later. You know what you're choosing. You choose it anyway. Dylan messages you out of nowhere, says he loves what you're building, asks if you want to collab. You realize he has the audience and you have the thing. He sells the dream of work. You did the work. For 1 second, you feel the gap between you and it feels like winning. It isn't, fully. He's happier than you this year. You file that away. The number sits at $11,000.
Level 5, the builder. You quit the job. The thing is the job now. First month on your own, you work more than you ever did with a boss, because now there's no floor under you. Nobody pays you for showing up. They pay you for finishing. You feel the difference in your chest every morning. Freedom and terror are the same feeling wearing different clothes. You hire your first person, a kid, 22, eager. First week he asks if he should take a course before he really gets started. You almost laugh. You remember double-tapping Dylan at 9:40 in the morning, thinking watching was the same as doing. You tell him no. You'll learn it real. He doesn't get the joke. The joke costs you 3 years to understand. You learn the fourth law. At some point, work ethic stops being about effort and starts being about what you refuse. The hard part isn't doing more. It's killing the 10 good ideas so the one great one survives. Anyone can be busy. Busy is just discipline with no aim. You spent years proud of being busy. Now, busy looks like a man running hard in a circle. You go to therapy. You don't tell people that. You learn that the same childhood thing that made you unable to rest is the thing that built all of this. The wound and the engine are the same part. You can't remove one without losing the other. The number sits at $90,000. Level 6, the owner. The business runs partly without you now. This is the level nobody on the internet shows because it isn't dramatic. It's a spreadsheet. It's payroll. It's a flat month where nothing crashes and nothing soars, and you still bleed cash into salaries and rent and software you forgot you bought. The market isn't the only thing that can kill you anymore. Boredom can. Drift can. You discover the fifth law, and it's the loneliest one. The work ethic that got you here is now a liability. The thing that built the business by hand cannot scale the business. You have to stop being the hardest worker and start being the person who makes hard workers possible. Your hands want to grab every task. Your job is to keep them in your pockets. You're good at suffering. You're now being asked to delegate, which feels like doing nothing, which feels like the relief from level 1, which terrifies you. Your wife stayed. That wasn't guaranteed. You almost lost her at level 4 and you both know it. She tells you she's proud, and for once you let yourself hear it instead of using it as fuel. That took longer to learn than any business skill. Dylan's down to posting twice a month. The algorithm moved on. He DMs you asking for advice on starting something real. You feel no satisfaction, just a small sadness, because you finally understand he was always just scared, same as you. He just chose the version of scared that looks like confidence on camera. The number sits at $340,000.
Level 7, the rare one, 7 figures. You crossed it on an ordinary Wednesday and didn't tell anyone. The people who need to announce the number are usually still chasing it. You felt almost nothing. That's the secret they sell you and never explain. The million was never the prize. The person you had to become to get there was the prize, and you can't put that on a thumbnail. You learned the last law. Work ethic was never about money. Money was just the scoreboard that proved you changed. The discipline outlives the goal. Now you have to choose it on purpose because the desperation that used to choose it for you is gone. The man at $0 worked from fear. The man at $1 million works from something he has to rebuild every single morning because nothing is forcing him anymore. You speak at a small event. A 24-year-old finds you after, nervous energy, says he watches discipline content every day and just can't seem to start. He mentions a creator, Dylan's complete morning routine. Have you heard of it? You have. You think about telling him the truth, that watching is not doing, that the relief he feels turning off the alarm is the enemy wearing comfort's face, that the gap between him and the life he wants is just 10,000 boring mornings he doesn't want to live. You don't say all of it. He'll learn it or he won't. You tell him the only thing that's ever been true. Stop negotiating with yourself before sunrise. The argument is the leak. Win it once and everything else is just time. He nods, writes it in his phone. He probably won't do it. You wouldn't have either at 24, lying in bed at 9:40, feeling relieved. Somewhere right now, an alarm is going off at 6 a.m. Somebody is turning it off in 4 seconds and getting back in bed. They feel relief. They don't know yet what the relief costs. They'll learn. They always do. The number sits at $0.